What's up, everyone? On today's show, it's time to recap and recoup from yesterday's crazy Fight and Feast marathon event. In addition, we'll have some chill interactive fun and then jump into Star Wars Jedi Survivor. See ya after the bump. Alrighty, welcome to the Level 1 Podcast, everyone. As always, I am Phil I am, and welcome to the show. It is Monday, the 22nd of May, 2023, and we are recuperating. Yesterday was a crazy day here on DSPGaming. We had a ton of fun, starting around 10:45 a.m. all the way till, past 8 p.m. A very good marathon. Had a great time yesterday with all of you. So anyone who was here live yesterday, great attendance, great engagement, great support. In fact, no exaggeration, I was about to start the stream and I start touching things. I'm like, oh my God, there is like crazy amounts of bubble residue all over my setup. And I was like, damn, we blew bubbles so many times yesterday. We had over 300 likes on the stream, plus we hit multiple support goals of members. And because of that, everything was covered in bubbles. I was like, wow. Keep in mind, now I'm using the bubble guns. I'm not just blowing bubbles. So these bubbles get absolutely everywhere whenever I blow them. And so I did some cleanup here. And, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday a lot. And there's a lot of content that came out of it that will actually be going live over the course of this week. Everything here that's gameplay-wise is live already here on the channel. But there's also tons of food vlogging style stuff that's going to go live over on DSP Reacts, and also a big tier maker video that's going to go live within like 40 minutes. So good stuff came out of that for sure, and people loved it, man. Me too. Like, I can't wait to talk about it because it was such a positive experience. It was really, really fun, and I had a great time with all of you. You guys were just a really great audience to hang out with and relax and chill and enjoy classic Street Fighter and all kinds of silly stuff. Me being in costume all day obviously was ridiculous, but at the same time, it was fun. Those costumes of Ryu and Ken actually are pretty nice because they're cool. They have like open air. It's not like you're wearing this big thing that's keeping you enclosed and warms you up. It's the opposite. And the Ryu costume with the headband, that's much better than Ken, because with Ken you have the wig, and the wig kind of blocks your head and then it kind of slides off. But the Ryu headband stayed on all day. That was a really fun costume to wear, probably one of my favorite costumes that I've ever worn for any kind of a special event. Well, hello, Jasper. What are you doing? Are you happy to be here today? That's right, it's Monday. Monday is Jasper Day, usually. It depends on my wife's work schedule, and for the past, month or so, she's been working every Monday, and so Jasper is able to join us on the daytime streams, as you can see. He's happy to be here. He's been waiting. He's saying, when will I be able to be on stream? He's been trying to sneak into this office several times during the course of the week. Seriously, he likes being in here. So, here he is. And now he's going to lay on my lap. Oh, you're doing this already, huh? I just started the stream, Jasper. It's funny because, again, I keep telling you guys he's not a lap cat. But now I think he's getting older, and now he wants to be a lap cat. Because why else would he be sitting in my lap for all these streams? And it's funny because my wife said to me the other day, she's like, he sits on your lap during the streams, but he doesn't sit on my lap. I said, yeah, but when you think about it, when you're sitting on a couch, it's a little different. Like, I'm sitting in a chair. I'm sitting in a position where, my lap here is almost like a chair itself. So it's like he's sitting on a chair on my lap. Like, when you're on a couch and you're all sprawled out or whatever, it's definitely different. Like if you were sitting in a chair all day, he'd probably want to be on your lap too. Now, Jasper Kitty, I understand you want to snuggle here, but I got a podcast to do, all right? And if you lay on my lap, I'm going to get all warm. And it is warm now. It is spring, all right? It's not winter where I need to warm up because it's cold outside. Instead, it's kind of warm. So I'll give you a nice rub down here, a nice kitty rub down. But then you got to get off my lap, okay? I'm giving him a nice, look at this. Hey, like that. No, you're not going to bite me. How dare you? He's trying to get playful now. All right. There he goes. So, shall we? Let's talk. Why don't we talk in detail about yesterday's Fight and Feast event so you guys know how it went, so you guys know, what content's coming out of it, and some of the ideas, because we had some good ideas yesterday. People liked the event so much that they are asking me to do another event like that. And I was like, I would be totally down to do events like that. The question is, how often, what themes should we use, and, do we want it to always be here on DSPGaming? Did you like the long-form React events that I was doing over on DSP Reacts? Because I do. I like those long-form React events, and the feedback I get is that you like those too. But the thing is, you can't really do 2 in 1 month. Now I know that. Earlier this year I was trying to do one marathon event here on DSPGaming and a long-form day of reacting on DSP Reacts. And it takes, in my opinion, too much away from everything else I'm doing. If I'm taking so many days away from my normal streams a month to do all these special events, I never get through the games I'm playing. So, so that being said, here's what happened yesterday, all right? So I was in costume, which was really fun. Everyone liked the fact that I was now Ryu instead of Ken. Everyone was expecting I was just going to wear the Ken costume again, and I surprised everyone with a new costume. The podcast itself yesterday was fun. We talked about the event. People get all hyped for it. Yes, absolutely, tons of contributions. I mean, let's just get that out of the way. Yesterday alone, all right, the channel gained something like 70 members, all right? Yes, it was insane the amount of tips that came in. I mean, Jinx went nuts with a bunch of tips, but then other people as well. It wasn't just Jinx, it was a bunch of people. So, abso-freaking-lutely, we are continuing on with the support streak. Now, can I be honest with all of you? After yesterday, going so crazy with support, I don't foresee this support streak continuing. I just don't foresee every single day people are going to do $150 in tips on every stream. Yesterday was nuts. Yesterday was over the top levels of support to the point where, like, I couldn't even see. I'd be blown away and shocked and be like, there's no way if this happens again today, I couldn't imagine it. Really. Like, that would be nuts. So I'm not expecting anything. I'm literally not going to ask for anything today. Today will be a normal day as usual, but you're not going to hear me constantly saying, hey guys, it's a slow stream and tip and do that. I'm not going to do none of that because it was such a great weekend. I mean, it's insane. I just had a week and a half of some of the most support I've had in 3 years. The last time I had that much support was the Vest streak back in 2020. And so I'm definitely not going to be, harping on any of that. You're not going to hear me talking about that shit. All right. It was too good. So, thank you to anyone who was here, anyone who engaged, supported. It was a really, really great, amazing, over-the-top support day. But not just that. Like I said, all day long, we had very fun engagement. The views, right? The views were great. Overall, I saw a lot of the time during the day, 500-600 views on the stream, which is way more than my usual streams. And it didn't even matter what I was doing, whether I was eating food, whether I was playing a Street Fighter game, whether I was doing a tier maker ranking. It just seemed like everything was interesting to the audience, and that's a great thing. One of my most viewed streams in a very long time, which is excellent. So I'm obviously very pleased with how that went as well for the channel. So let's recap everything I did. So we had a podcast, tons of fun, interaction, talking and everything. Me revealing the costume went really well. And, of course, an insane amount of shout-outs because people were coming to the podcast and contributing. And it was just nuts, okay? Then when we started, the first thing you guys wanted me to do, because we polled for it, is that you wanted me to play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the hardest difficulty, and you selected Chun-Li as my character. Now, for those who don't know, I'm good at Super Turbo. I'm great with certain characters, such as DJ, Vega, Balrog, etc., and I'm decent with every character in the game, but I'm no tournament-level player with every character. Chun-Li is one of the characters I'm probably weaker with. probably, like, I'd say I'm just average with Chun-Li. There's probably, like, tons of people who are way better than me with Chun-Li and Super Turbo. So, picking that character, all I know are pretty basic things. I actually don't know how to play against the computer with Chun-Li. And when I say that, you might be saying, well, I don't understand. What do you mean play against the computer? Don't you just play these fighting games the same when you're playing against people or the computer? No. When you're playing against the CPU essentially is psychic because it can read your button inputs. So you could be throwing a fireball, and the game knows you're throwing the fireball before the animation even comes out on your TV and could jump right over the fireball and kick you. It's pretty ridiculous how much cheating goes on in these classic fighting games. It's over the top levels of cheating, with the way that these computers read your inputs and everything. Okay, so that being said, it was tough. I got through the entirety of the game in about 25 minutes. I'm like, oh, I'm going to beat it. And then it took me, no exaggeration, 1 hour to beat M. Bison. An hour. It was nuts. And, of course, I was... First of all, I'd taken a bunch of shots of tequila. The way we were doing yesterday's stream was every $100 contribution that came in, I was taking a shot of tequila. At that point, I already had a bunch of them. Okay? So here I am trying to get through Super Turbo on the hardest level of AI difficulty while the computer is literally cheating, and I'm tipsy. Yeah, so just for one quick explanation. Fight. Kikoken, I throw a fireball. Here's M. Bison. He jumps over the fireball. Roundhouse, roundhouse. 2 hits. My life bar goes down by 60%, and I dizzy. Then he does it again. Roundhouse, roundhouse, round over. And it's like, what? No, that doesn't happen in the real game. At all. Like, not even close. I couldn't tell you the amount of times that he's open. He walks forward, immediately goes into a head stomp. No charge. It's just like, it was tough. It was rough. I got it done, but it took 90 minutes. And then after that, it was time for our first recipe, which was Yang's curry fish balls. Yes, from Street Fighter 3, the character Yang, we ate fish balls, Asian-style fish balls, in a curry sauce. So, I'm not going to tell you what I thought, because I made videos for all of these recipes. But, so I had those. Then we went back and we started a tier maker, and the tier maker was 1 hour of ranking all of the fighting game franchises against each other. I really enjoyed doing that. The audience liked it, because we were kind of debating back and forth. And that will go live over on DSP Reacts within 30 minutes. So I hope you'll give it a look. People really seem to like the tier maker stuff over there. Then we had some more food. It was actually chicken baozi. But it was, this time it was Yoon from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, their recipe. And it didn't go as planned, because basically the recipe didn't really account properly for, like, home cooks to be able to steam stuff on their stovetop. It was pretty silly. The recipe basically made everything raw by following the recipe to the T. So my wife had to pull an audible to make it. So check that out. That video will be going live later this week. And then I went back and we played Street Fighter Alpha 3 on the hardest difficulty with M. Bison. Okay, so it was an M. Bison run in Alpha 3. And then we had more food. It was actually me eating a Jersey Mike's bacon ranch chicken cheesesteak sandwich while just kind of chilling with you guys, because that was my real meal for the day, while the other stuff was more snack food. Then, by the way, a love-free, my wife did not use pre-made biscuit dough. She made it from scratch. She actually made that dough completely from scratch. We bought a rolling pin and everything for that dough. So, what you're talking about, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're speaking of. My wife did all that, from scratch. Why are you saying something stupid like that in the chat? Like you know better. You're like, what are you talking about? What a dummy. Anyway, so then we continued on, and I'm trying to think what we even did next, because we did so much during this event. We did a WWE 2K 30-man over-the-top rope battle royale. All right, and it was very fun. It was Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat versus Tekken. Each game had 10 representatives. This was a really good one because all the characters had signature moves. Like we had, Ken was doing Shoryukens. Right? Each character... Oh, Jack 2 from Tekken did his robot press where he picks you up and then slams you down to the side like it's his throw. Like, they all had their signature moves. It was really neat. So that was a great thing. And then we had another recipe. It was Cody's Tornado Sweep Milkshake. That was what we ended the night with as a nice dessert at the end of the night. Of course, other various things happened. There was like a Q&A thing in there to just kill some time while we were waiting for some stuff to happen. But good stuff. So first of all, here's how it's going to work. All the gameplay is already live here. The Level 1 podcast, the 2 runs in Street Fighter, as well as the Battle Royale and the Daily Wrap. And I think there was either one more like time-killing video. They're all live on the channel here right now. All of the non-gameplay style stuff will now be over on DSP Reacts. So, for example, we've got all the food videos, the 3 different Street Fighter recipes. Also, me trying out the Jersey Mike sandwich, as well as the tier maker. And I believe there was like the final video that was like the final thoughts on the event and how it had gone. All that will be live on DSP Reacts, basically 1 video a day. So I spread it out so every day there's a new thing to watch over on that channel for variety purposes. So that's good. That means on that channel you'll have a reason to be there every day this week. I know previous weeks has been kind of slow there. So you'll have a new video of DSP versus the internet and a new video from the Fightin' Feast for content. Overall, not only did the event go well for attendance, for engagement and support, but my wife was really happy. And let me tell you guys something. I like making Kat happy, and it's sad that she can't be more of a part of my content. All right? She likes what I do. She wishes that she could be a part of my content. Okay? But here's the problem, is that there's so many messed up, toxic people on the internet that will, for absolutely positively no good reason, tear you down and make you feel like shit, that she just doesn't want to appear in my content. You understand? Like, when she first moved here 5 years ago, she wanted to be a part of the content. She started showing up in videos for Q&A. We did a Halloween marathon we started together, but these people just were so toxic and disgusting with how they were behaving that she just got completely, hurt, quite frankly, by their behavior, and was like, I really don't want to do that. I don't want to put myself in that situation where I can be harassed online, have all these horrible things said about me, when all I want to do is be a part of the fun stuff, right? So at that point, she said, I just don't want to be part of this anymore. I'm done with it. So I said, okay. And since then, she's never wanted to be part of it. This was a cool way for her to be a part of the content and not put herself in the line of fire of toxic people. You understand? Like, she was able to cook these cool recipes. She did a good job. Like, for example, the fish curry was really, really good. I just probably wouldn't have fish balls again. I told her, make that curry sauce again, but make it with chicken or veggies. And she agreed. She loved the curry sauce too. So maybe we make a new curry dish that we can have as a dinner every once in a while. As for the Bao Z, even though it didn't come out perfect, she learned a little bit about making dough for herself. She even said, I kind of like baking and making my own dough. It was the first time she had ever made her own dough from scratch. And she was like, man, I'd like to do that more. Maybe make loaves of bread, maybe make other baked goods. I'm like, hey, go for it. That sounds good to me. I would love that. She also we really liked the filling that was in the Bao Z. So maybe use that filling in something else, right? And, so she loved it. She had a really great time helping out with the show. And at the end of the show, a lot of people told me on stream, be sure to tell Kat, thank you so much because those recipes were really cool. And I did, and you have no idea how happy she was. Like, that makes me super duper happy that my wife is happy like that, because she doesn't get to be happy in regards to my content very often. And this is a special day where she actually got to be a part of it. And she was super, super happy at the end of the day at how it went and that everyone liked what she had worked on. And after having talked with her, she would be willing to do more stuff like that if we have themed events, later on this year. We were actually talking about it. So, as you guys know, once a year, essentially I do like a long-form Bethesda playthrough, right? Everyone knows this. 2 years ago it was Fallout New Vegas, last year it was Skyrim, and this year it's Oblivion. Stands to reason, next year it's probably going to be Fallout, right? What Fallout, though? Would it be Fallout 3 or Fallout 4? I don't know. But let's say we decide that we're going to do one of those as a retro playthrough. Well, maybe what we can do is whenever we decide to start it, I can do a cool celebratory marathon event of a lot of Fallout gameplay, but other Fallout-related things. And maybe one thing you could do, they have a Fallout cookbook. I'm 100% sure. I've seen it in stores. We can get a Fallout cookbook, and she could make a bunch of like Fallout recipes that we could try foods and stuff during the marathon event while we launch the playthrough Fallout together. Okay? It's pretty cool, right? You know, among other things. So, you know, that's just one idea I had. You know, maybe later this year, I'll do a Street Fighter event again. Maybe if Street Fighter 6 is really good and I want to do a Street Fighter event, she could do more Street Fighter recipes or whatever, right? But also, you know, my anniversary event is coming up in September. September is going to be a very special month here because we're celebrating my 15-year anniversary as a content creator. And after 15 years, there's a lot to cover. We could do retro playthroughs that, you know, are redos of classic games that I played at the very beginning of my YouTube career. We could do a retrospective event where all day long we watch old content and I kind of react to it. Among other things, like it was Arkham, had made a special tier maker that's actually going to be all of the games that I ranked Game of the Year awards for the past 12 years, and actually now in the modern day ranking those games against each other, you know, from a modern perspective as opposed to the perspective of each year. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how those games have aged and if I still think that they're good or not. So that's just a few ideas of things that we can actually do. And maybe she can think up some things to bake and or cook, like recipes. Maybe we could find a cookbook that relates somehow to my history on YouTube. I don't know what it would be. I have to think about it. But that's what I'm thinking. Like, if she can participate in that way, she would love it. Because she's a good cook. And she really enjoyed doing those recipes for us yesterday. And that's just awesome that she got to be a part of it. Didn't put herself in harm's way. You know, no potential for harassment or anything like that. And but she was very happy at the end of the day. I mean, that's really awesome. So, thank you guys. Anyone who was here yesterday, anyone who participated in any positive way, whether you just watched, whether you actually engaged and talked in the chat, whether you contributed in any way, whether you got a suggestion, a comment, anything that added, you know, positively yesterday, thank you so very much. And for those of you who weren't here yesterday, it's all good. As you know, Spartanius one says, have her cook the very first thing you cooked on Poorly Cooking with the King. Oh, no. I mean, I made terrible things. I made, like, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, burgers, right? Quesadillas. What did I make back then? I don't even remember the stuff that I made because it was just, you know, not good stuff that I was making. I really don't remember what I made. Have her make her own versions of what I made on Poorly Cooking with the King to blow us away and show us how good she is as a cook, right? Okay. Anyway, so it was great. Content all week, right? The content on this channel's live, content on DSP Reacts all week. Great event. Really, really pleased with how it went. Now, here's our next challenge, okay? Now we have to figure out, what do we want to do next, okay? You guys liked this themed event so much, I would be down for another themed style event. But what would it be? Or do you want to do a long-form React event in June? All right, that's the challenge we have right now. We have to figure this out, okay? What exactly do we want to do next month? Because I'm down for either. You know, you want to do a long-form event of reacting? Let's talk about channels on YouTube that you like. Whether you want me to go back to a channel I've already done, like Frederick Knudsen or June the King. Whether you want me to do something comedy-wise, like Internet Historian, something new. Whatever it is, we could do that. Or maybe you're not interested in doing the React stuff and you want to do another themed event here on DSPGaming, right? I'd be down for that too. I had so much fun yesterday. But the question is, what kind of a themed event do you want to see, right? I don't know. I mean, next month, here's what's going on next month. We've got Street Fighter 6, Diablo 4, and Final Fantasy 16. Those are the three big ones, okay? Now, there's other stuff as well. Don't get me wrong. But those are the three giant things happening during the course of the month. So, do you want something in relation to those? I feel like here's the thing. If Street Fighter 6 comes out, and we did a crazy fun marathon day of me trying characters in online play and community play in Street Fighter 6, that'd be great, but we just did Street Fighter. So even though it would be pertinent, I feel like double Street Fighter is not going to be as effective, you understand? So I don't think that doing Street Fighter twice in a row works. But then what other kind of event would you like to see? Maybe a throwback, a throwback classic games event where I play, tougher games, like trying to beat Ninja Gaiden for the first time ever, which I've never done. Or playing classic Mega Man games with challenges on there or something like that. we think, I don't know. I want to talk to you guys about it so we can figure this out. All right? So let's start talking about it. As of today, we really need to start discussing this, because if we don't figure this out soon, time's going to catch up on us. As soon as June hits, we're going to be so busy with all the new stuff coming out. Time is going to absolutely fly by, right? And so that being said, I don't want to get backed up, and next thing you know, now we can't do anything special, because these special events are good. So every day now, I think, on the podcast, or, otherwise on the streams, give me your feedback if you can. Let's begin the discussion this week. Hopefully by the end of maybe next week, so the end of May, we'll have some good ideas, and maybe we can actually start maybe voting on them or whatever. Because I'm down for whatever, but, I don't want to just forget about it, because I know it's going to be a busy month, but I don't want to have it be left as an afterthought, and then we're trying to either rush to do something or we end up doing nothing. Speaking of that, there is no Ask the King this month. Originally, Ask the King, my Q&A show, was supposed to be this month, but we've bumped it. It's going to, at the earliest, be next month, but might even be bumped to early July. Reason being, right now I really need to focus in on all the games that I'm playing. I need to make maximum progress in everything, and I can't be taking time away now from streams to be doing, Ask the King, especially when I'm doing Q&A every day with you guys. So, it will return. Ask the King is not canceled, but we definitely need to have it go on a hiatus so I can focus on the stuff going on. Speaking of which, I think now it's a good idea for us to talk about what's coming up. So today, after the Level 1 podcast, we're continuing with Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Last time around, we were planet hopping, and we had arrived at Jeddah for the second time. We're now in this big, temple dungeon area in Jeddah where there's heavy winds, and we're trying to figure out how to maneuver around it. Seems like a pretty unique and fun area. Also, I'm using the broad saber, which essentially is a broadsword version of the lightsaber that's really powerful, and I really enjoy this combat style. So I'm looking forward to more of that on the first stream here. On the late stream tonight, it is Endgame of Oblivion. We are basically at the very end of the game with only 1 or 2 missions left to do before we wrap it up. But the question is, do I want to just turbo through and beat the game, or do I want to actually do what they kind of intend you to do, which is go to each major city and close an incredibly challenging Oblivion gate outside of each city? Each one has this major challenging gate that's like a gauntlet of stuff, and I'd be okay with doing it as long as you guys want to see me do it. If you guys are like, meh, don't do it, well, then we don't have to do that. Instead, we can just rush kind of finish it. I mean, it's really up to you. Let's see how you guys feel tonight, okay? The thing is, once we beat Oblivion, now I have a whole new stream, night streams, to play other stuff. Whether we bring back Elden Ring, or whether you'd like to see more of the current games that I'm playing, I'd be down for either, all right? So tonight, Oblivion on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. It could be the conclusion. It might not be. Let's see how it goes tonight. Let me know what you think. Then tomorrow, the continuation of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Last time around, we had great progress. We did the entirety of the Sky Dungeon, or Wind Dungeon, and then we went back underground to the depths, and we did an optional, not dungeon, it was more like just exploring the depths, and there was a boss fight where you got a new ability, and now I don't even know what to do next. I'm not sure what's next in the game, but I'm excited. Whatever it is, the game is good. I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the playthrough. I can't wait for more tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster, which, man, it is difficult, but is still fun, and it feels rewarding to overcome these tough dungeons and earn, bigger levels in the jobs and stuff that I'm doing. It's been a great run. I can't wait for more tomorrow night. Wednesday is my day off from streaming. All right, no streaming on Wednesday. It'll be a chill day to recuperate. I hope that you guys will catch up on all the content here on the channels. When I come back on Thursday, it'll be more Star Wars and more Oblivion, unless we've beaten Oblivion, in which case we'll determine, do you guys want to see the return of Elden Ring? I'd be down for that. Or would you like to see me do something else? Friday, more Zelda and more Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. Saturday is my React day, DSP versus the internet. And then what we'll do is the rest of the week focus on finishing up as much as I possibly can for the rest of May until we get to Street Fighter 6, which is going to be on June 2nd, okay? And I'm going to play 2 straight days of Street Fighter 6, the 2nd and the 3rd, so that's a Friday and a Saturday. Yes, that means that my React day will be a Sunday that week, June 4th. I'm bumping my React day from a Saturday to a Sunday, so that way we can play Street Fighter 6 2 full days at launch, okay? Then, of course, we're going to have Diablo 4. We're going to have Final Fantasy 16, among other things going on in the month of June. So, plus, there's digital events as well, just so you guys remember. Summer Games Fest is coming up. The big Microsoft digital event with the big Starfield blowout. That's coming up. All this stuff is coming up. Okay? All right. I hope this all sounds good to you. Good stuff happening. All right? Outside of that, guys, thank you for an outstanding week and a half. Yes, the streak continues. Every single stream for the last 19 streams, we have hit all of the support goals, and everything has been exceeded, and we're doing really good. If this streak ends today, it's no big deal. It's fine if it does. I mean, yesterday was such an over-the-top, crazy positive day. I'm so grateful for all the support that I got from all of you yesterday that if it ends today, it's all good. If it continues, I'll let you know. We'll see. But all the rewards are in effect, as you know. Our 3-tiered tips rewards at $50, $100, and $150. Yes, if we hit our likes goal today of 100 likes, I'll do a celebratory bubble blow with my new bubble guns just to show you guys. So I've had these bubble guns now for just under a week. And already, there's our bubble juice. Not that bad, actually, I would say. But definitely I'm using way more bubbles than I used to. Especially because sometimes I'm doing the double bubble gum. Right? But I love these things. These are fun. And, you know, Jasper has not been in here yet when I used it, right? Jasper right now is trying to go into the bubble gun box. So Jasper has not been in here when I use the bubble gun. I have no idea how he will react when I use a bubble gun. It's going to be pretty fun if we hit the bubble goal today to see how Jasper is going to react to that, okay? So there you go. So that's in effect. And, you know, just thank you in advance. Any contributions today, whether it be simply liking the stream, a super chat, a super sticker, a membership, a gifted membership, a tip, all greatly appreciated. All right, they help the channel. Everything is, I'm grateful for everything. Thank you so much. All right. I literally have nothing really else to talk about today because we're so tapped out from yesterday. You know, yesterday I drank a ton. I drank a ton of tequila on that stream. How many shots did I take? Did you even count? I think over the course of the day, no exaggeration, I think I had like 9 shots or something like that. Good news is I was eating and drinking constantly all day outside of the shots. And I kind of recovered at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, at night, I relaxed and I, you know, had a... Jasper, what are you doing? Now he's playing with the bubble gun box. Because the bubble guns are in the box. It's kind of like a holster that I hold them in. And he's like, now he's like attacking the box. No, the good news is I wasn't hungover. How could I have been hungover? Think about this. I was eating and drinking all day when I was drinking. The way you get hungover is if you drink so much during a day and you're not eating, you're not drinking, you're not essentially giving other things for your body to work the alcohol with, that then the alcohol poisons your body and you feel like shit. But in this case, I was buzzed, but because I was doing all those other things during that, I never really got to the point where it was like, oh, I feel like I'm sick or whatever. And I also slept it off, you know what I mean? Because it not only was I eating and doing that all day long, but then I had a nice night's rest. Woke up this morning actually feeling kind of refreshed. So that was nice. But I will tell you this, I don't want to see tequila for a while. I'm pretty done with that. Jasper, what are you doing? How dare you? He's attacking the box. Don't attack my bubblegum box. Do not attack the bubblegum box. He's being so silly. He's pawing the box like this and pulling it. Jasper. He's playing with the box. Jasper loves boxes. He's a cat. Cats, for some reason, they have this affinity to boxes, and he loves boxes. Yeah. Okay. He's rubbing his face against the box. Anyway, so yeah. Everything's good today. Ready to go. Raring to go. Ready for Star Wars fun. Jasper, don't do that. He's biting the wire. Why you gotta do that? That's it, Jasper. You're gonna get sprayed if you eat the wire. I'm telling you right now. He wants my attention very badly right now. That's what it is. Okay. All right. So, what do we got to do today on the podcast? Well, I have one shout out to do, so let's do it. I have nothing on the YouTube side, meaning no super chats, no memberships, or anything like that. I have received a $2 tip. So, it's an anonymous tip. This person has an interesting suggestion regarding tier maker. Okay, so let me get the anonymous $2 tip on the leaderboard. Jasper, do not bite that wire. And yes, I'm aware someone in the chat just said when you spray your cat, they don't know what's going on, you're just scaring them. I understand that. I don't like spraying Jasper. I only do it as a last resort if it's in a situation where he's basically doing something where he can harm himself. You know, I can't have him chew a wire. There's electricity going through that. I don't want him to get fried. I have to make sure he's not doing that. So if I see him chewing a wire, like right now, oh, he's got my arm. Yes, so if I see him chewing a wire, I have to do what I can to stop him. You know what I mean? Jasper, stop that right now. No biting of wires. Okay, so anyway, here's what the anonymous tipper has to say. I was watching your tier maker streams. Well, thanks for watching them. I'm wondering why, for example, when you're doing one that's... Jasper, really? I turned for a second. 1 second, and he's biting the wire again. Now he ran down the hallway. Okay. Let's try this again. I was wondering why, when you haven't played a game, for example, if there's games you haven't played at all, or maybe there's a game that you've heard of, but you've never actually played it, why not watch a short video of the gameplay to give your impressions on what it looks like? It's a fun idea, and I'm enjoying your content lately. Well, here's the thing. That's a good suggestion. And for example, let's say, for example, we had a tier maker where we had maybe 10 to 15 things that we were ranking, but I didn't know like 5 of them. And I absolutely wanted to rank them all. Then that's probably something I absolutely positively would do. What you're saying makes sense, correct? Watch, get informed on each one, and that way you can actually rank them properly. But if you take a look at the tier makers that I've actually done, all right, things such as rank all the gaming consoles, rank all the Zelda games, rank all the Street Fighter franchises. These are things that have tremendous amount of options, right? Tremendous. And I'll give you a perfect example here. When I did the Zelda tier maker 2-3 weeks ago, so 3 weeks ago, right? I really loved doing it, by the way. It was super fun. But half the games I never played because there was all the handheld Zeldas. And I never had those handheld Zeldas. I only played the console Zeldas. Excuse me. And it's funny because there's comments, or people were trying to comment, being negative dicks on the video, and they were saying things like, why'd he even bother doing this tier maker if he didn't play half the games, right? So first of all, you have to understand something. I didn't make the tier maker. There's a ridiculous amount of pre-made tier makers, and I just grabbed one that seemed to have all of the games in it. In particular, the ones that I knew that I had played were the ones that I wanted to rank, and I saw that one had them all. So that's number one. It's not like, oh, I'm making the tier maker. Why'd I do that one that has half the games I never played? Because this one had all of them. I wanted something that covered everything. That way I could definitely rank all the ones that I had played. But number two, that tier maker was 2 hours long. 2 hours in length. And that was just to rank all the console Zeldas that I had played. Can you imagine if I had taken the time to watch videos on and now rank all the other videos that I hadn't played, right? Can you just think about that? How nuts that would have been? That would have been like a 4-hour video. Who wants to watch a 4+ hour tier maker, right? Even as is, a lot of people complain it's too long as it is. And I'm like, well, you understand, when I'm doing a tier maker, I'm doing an in-depth one that's supposed to be informative. It's not just supposed to be me dicking around and putting out a piece of fluff content for the internet that I rushed out to have a video for today. This is supposed to be a meaningful piece of content where I actually analyze the games and rank them against each other in a serious manner. My tier maker stuff is supposed to be taken seriously, not, oh, anyone could do this and do it in 5 seconds. You see? Kind of like all my React content. No, my React content is not just done for the sake of having fluff content for you today and make faces at a trailer going, oh, I don't do that. I actually sit there and I analyze it. Very different than what other people do for React, I know. So, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel like the tier makers are already lengthy enough. Like the Street Fighter the fighting game one from yesterday. I ranked arguably 20, 30 different fighting game franchises. The tier maker had like 60. So it's like, most of those games no one ever heard of anyway. Am I really going to sit there and watch 30 fucking videos of one of each game just to know what they are to say that I can rank them? Probably not. It wouldn't have made sense. So here's what I think. Excuse me. Here's what I think. If it's a tier maker that doesn't have a lot to rank, what if it's a top 10, but I only have personal experience 5? Then what you're saying makes absolute perfect sense. Let me take a little bit of extra time and effort, maybe watch some videos, do some research, and then the tier maker will be a lot better. But if it's a tier maker that already has a million options, it's okay to skip half of them. You're already going to rank the ones intelligently that you know. There's no need to do this insane amount of research. Like I said, the Street Fighter, the fighting game tier maker that was an hour long yesterday would have been 3 hours long if I had actually talked about every game. The Zelda tier maker would have been 4 to 5 hours long. You know what I'm saying? So, probably not very useful to do that in all situations. I appreciate your suggestion. I appreciate your tip. Thank you for that. And that's the first tip of the day. On the YouTube side of things, it looks like JDTV has re-upped his membership for 4 months, and he says you should do a Super Castlevania 4 themed event. Sadly, I already did Castlevania stuff last year. I actually bought that Castlevania collection, and I played through Castlevania 1, 2, 3, and 4 / Super Castlevania, and I've already done full playthroughs of them all as of last summer. So if I was going to do an event like that, it would have been last year, and we didn't. It was said there were separate playthroughs, so interesting idea, but kind of already got there and done that, so we have to think of something different. But I appreciate the suggestion, and thank you for the ongoing support, JDTV. Yahtzee asks, how's the weather today? Cool. I don't have the air conditioner on at all. You may have noticed. You don't hear anything. All I have on is the fan in the background, oscillating. That's it. It's very cool here in Washington today. It went down to the 60s. We went from 80 to 90 degree weather to 60s within like 3 days. It's good. So. All right, Ruffian Forever, I've had enough of you trying to cause drama. Don't come back. I mean it too, because you've been unbanned 3+ times, and then you come back and say stupid negative stuff every day. I don't want you back. Goodbye. Okay, Tyler says, I was going to buy Halo Infinite. Is the game worth playing? I don't know. Halo Infinite was absolutely outstanding at launch. It had a good campaign, and the multiplayer was good. But now it's 2 years later, and from everything I would understand, they ruined their own franchise. Like, this was a game that was at the top of the world when it came out, and within a year, it crapped and died because they wouldn't update it. They just didn't have the manpower nor the talent to really get it to be like the other games that are it's contemporaries, you know. While Call of Duty is constantly updating new seasonal content, Halo couldn't do it. So you very well may buy Halo Infinite, love the campaign, and play the online for a bit, but just don't expect any updates or anything. Okay? You probably will like it though. And by the way, stands to reason, it's on Game Pass. You don't have to buy it. As long as you have an Xbox console and you have Game Pass, you just have Halo Infinite. You don't have to spend money on it. So. Okay. All right. So what would you guys like to talk about? We've got time. We have time for Q&A today. And by the way, I guarantee you there's going to be trolls and idiots today. I'll take care of them as I see them. It's fine. You know, this always, whenever there's like a fallout from a big marathon or whatever, you get a bunch of idiots coming in here. And I already got a few of them earlier today. I'll take care of them as I see them. Apologies if they come in and they annoy you guys. It is what it is. No, there's no... I have not mentioned anything whatsoever about getting a new PC. All right? No, I've not mentioned that at all. The support in the last week and a half has been absolutely outstanding. Right now, it is helping a lot with bills and other stuff. Yes, I do have some surplus right now, which is great, but it's kind of already going to bills and things in the future. If this kind of support continues, which would be insane if it does, then yeah, we could start talking about long-term stuff. For now, though, I'm not jumping the gun and making any plans to spend thousands of dollars. I would certainly like to get a new PC by the end of the year, but being that it's been a year since we talked about it, I think what we would need to do is sit down and look at the situation and be like, so what's going on now with PCs? Because last year I had this big listing of components and things that I should get, but how much you want to bet if we sat down today and we did it, it would be completely different, right? Especially because I think component prices have dropped and everything, because that whole, what is it? Bitcoin mining on PCs isn't even possible anymore, or you do it, it's not economical, so no one does it anymore. So I think all the prices dropped, right? So we'll talk about it. Let's talk about it soon. Let's see if the support continues and go from there. But I'm not jumping the gun and changing my whole setup right now. If anything, if you take a look between last year and this year, everything is improved. Like literally my visuals, the quality of my capture, right? Everything is improved dramatically since last year. The only thing is my PC is old and could die, and I just still every once in a while have a corrupted video. But it's not a humongous, imminent thing that needs to change immediately, so. Okay. Jade says he hopes no bogs. I just chatted. I see all the Fast and Furiouses. I don't know what you mean by bogs, but you saw all the Fast and Furious movies. All right, how about this? Jade, you've seen all the Fast and Furious movies. I'm curious. This is an honest question. What is your favorite one out of all of them? Because there's so many of them, and apparently they're all the same plot, right? So I'm curious, was there an actual, like, one movie that stood out to you that was the best Fast and Furious movie out of all of them, right? Just, you know, there's so many of them. There's 10 of them, right? I'm just here. I wonder. Do I still get corrupted videos? I do. I still get corrupted videos, but it's... Let me put it this way. When I get corrupted videos, it's not like, oh my god, I can't stop getting corrupted videos. It would be like, I get one a day, and then in the next week there's another one, and then all of a sudden they just kind of calm down. Usually when I have a corrupted video, it's not a big deal. I can just pull that raw video out of the archive of the stream anyway, and then I use that. So it's not like a ginormous deal. Very, very often do I get a situation where the video corrupted, but I also can't get the video out of the stream, and now I'm screwed and I lost a video. That almost never happens, okay? So, yeah, it's really not a huge deal. If once in a while it could be a little bit annoying, maybe you do extra work, but it's not something that's constant. Piggleman, how you doing today? He says, do you have questions for me? Oh my god. What's your favorite Street Fighter game? Since we did a giant Street Fighter marathon all day yesterday, what's your favorite Street Fighter game? JDTV says, I was surprised how easy you made it look to spam Kikoken. For me, it takes 5 tries before it works. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Street Fighter for a very long time. So at least for the classics, my execution is pretty good. But I find it funny that even then you saw I was having issues. I was saying, oh, it dropped. Yeah, because that version, the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, is not good. It actually has tons of issues. It runs at the wrong speed on certain stages, and it actually has input issues where it drops inputs and stuff. It's pretty bad, okay? Jade says he meant bugs, and he says he loves 6 and X. 6 and X. So what happened in 6 and X? I wonder. What the difference is. Dex says, I'll email you. I have an entire game room with enough stuff to build 10 PCs. I may be able to help you save like $1,000. All right, Dex, email me. We'll talk. I'm down for that. Let's have a discussion. Konnichiwa to you, Juan. How are you? Why not have a Mortal Kombat event? So here's the deal. We talked about that yesterday. All right? So people were like, we really liked your Fight and Feast for Street Fighter. Why not do a Fight and Feast for Mortal Kombat? All right? Fair enough. Now, I don't know if there's a Mortal Kombat cookbook. But here's the deal. And this is truthful, and I don't know what's up with this. There's no way to play the classic Mortal Kombat games on any kind of a modern, like, console. They don't exist. I know that sounds stupid, but it's true. Like, they never actually took the classic Mortal Kombats and ported them to play in a modern setting. The classic Street Fighters, there's multiple versions. But classic Mortal Kombat, like, I remember they released, I want to say Mortal Kombat, like, 1, 2, and 3 on Xbox 360, and they were terrible. They were laggy as shit. Offline, they were laggy as shit. Like, they were almost impossible to play. They were really, really bad conversions. It actually drove me nuts because I liked classic Mortal Kombat, and I bought one of them, and I was like, dude, this is like one of the worst versions I've ever played. And they never really port them anywhere for some weird reason. I just don't get that. Why do they not port Mortal Kombat? It kind of drives me nuts that that's the case. And also, here's the other thing. The new Mortal Kombat is coming out in September, correct? What is it, September 16th? Well, guess what else is in September that kind of trumps that? My 15-year anniversary, which we've already talked about the fact that you guys want to see a big celebration, right? We're going to do multiple days of events and things. We might even have retro throwback playthroughs that month. So Mortal Kombat will very much be a part of my content that month, but at the very same time, I'm kind of going to be busy with anniversary stuff. So I'm not really going to have time to be doing like a whole Mortal Kombat event too. You see, we already kind of have a special event for September. If there was a way to actually play the classic Mortal Kombats, all right, I would be down to do one in like August, right? Just like we kind of did it a few weeks before. I'd do it in like August. It would be the Fight and Feast Round 2, Mortal Kombat style. And maybe I would try to dress up as a Mortal Kombat character if possible. I don't know. I have to see what costumes are out there. And, you know, and then go from there. But, you know, what are you going to do? Right? You can't play the classics. They don't exist. And some people are like, why don't you emulate them? Again, I can't play games on PC. You can't really emulate here on your TV or whatever. So. And in fact, Pickleman said, I prefer Mortal Kombat over Street Fighter, so I don't have a favorite Street Fighter game. Respectable. Respectable answer. Spartanius one says, your 15th anniversary celebration should be a week-long celebration. There's just too much to look back on quickly. I'd love to see Project 7 react again. I would too. I feel like if I reacted to Project 7 again, because I reacted to it like 4+ years ago, I feel like if I did it again, in this case, it'd be a different perspective. Because now I've reacted to the John and Howard video. So not only do we have my reacting to the original situation from 11 years ago, but now I'm also reacting to what they said about it years later, and you have like, you know what I mean? Like, it's even more perspective to the whole thing. So, yeah. There's actually stuff I never even told you guys about. Like, I'll give you an example. The final episode of Project 7 that I ever put out, okay, when it was given to me, was a huge mess. All the audio in it was completely screwed up. The video quality also. I basically had to take it and put it into my video editor and re-edit parts of it to make it even watchable, which is why it's only 720p on YouTube. Even though we filmed in full 1080p and it looked good, it doesn't, you know, it sounds weird, looks different. Why? Because I had to mess with the video to get it to work. Why? Because at that point, which I didn't know, those guys didn't want to work on the show anymore. They were feeling burnt out and they were feeling like they weren't making any money on it. And apparently they had all this bad feelings behind the scenes, but they never sent a word to me. So I didn't know that was the case. So they were basically, you know, trying to rush to get the show out so they could just be done with it. And they kind of gave me a half-assed episode 4 with a bunch of issues. Now, I don't blame them for that. I just wish that they had told me that this was a thing. And, you know, but instead I had to kind of like re-edit the whole show myself before I could put it out on the internet. And that was kind of, I knew when something was up, when episode 4 showed up like that, I was like, yeah, these guys are just not, they're not gung-ho for the show anymore. I can tell when they're delivering a product like that. So, but anyway, again, that's one of the many things we could actually talk about, right? During something like that. So, okay. JDTV, is this really you? I think your membership just expired, didn't it? Dude, that was weird. Your membership expired live on the stream. Because you were just, that sucks. Because you were just green and you went, now it left. I was like, oh, is that really him? I thought it was an impersonator, but it really is you. I hate when that happens. Oh, let's see here. Solid Dude says, I'm about to start playing the Judgment franchise of games. How would you say that it compares to Yakuza? It's similar with the combat. It's similar with the open world and the side questing, but the plot lines are completely different. So different subject matter, different plot, but definitely similar styles of gameplay. Great games. Both of them are great. Hello, Xantar. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Well, Juan, wish your uncle an early happy birthday. Spartanius one says you should play GTA games again and hype for GTA 6. I will 100% do a full playthrough of GTA 5 before GTA 6 comes out to build up hype for it. I've only played GTA 5 once ever, when it was a new game in 2013. I did attempt to do a second run on PS4. People weren't interested at the time because it was so close after that. But yes, I will absolutely positively do a 1 second full playthrough of GTA 5, and it'll be whatever the most modern version is too, before 6 comes out. So, yes, I did watch Denver the Last Dinosaur. He's my friend and a whole lot more. He showed me a world I never saw before. How's my stomach after the new foods? It's fine. My stomach is fine. It's like a steel trap. Ever thought about revisiting Dark Souls 2? Yeah, sure. I've done a first run in Dark Souls 2, and then I did a run years later where I did a special build with dual wielding. So I've already done 2 big runs in Dark Souls 2. The original and the other one was Scholar of the First Sin. So it would be just a 3rd run in it, I guess. I don't know. I'd be okay with going back someday to that. I think people wanted me to do the Elden Ring 2nd run, so I'm ready for the Elden Ring DLC first, and maybe we'll explore that later. Why not try a Metal Gear event? Like, how could you do a Metal Gear event exactly? Right? Like, it's not like fighting games where you can just play like a classic fighting games and do runs in it. It's those are long ass lengthy games. I don't know how I could do a Metal Gear event. Plus, if I was gonna do a Metal Gear event, I want to play Metal Gear Solid 1 again, and there's no modern version. Alright? There's only the PS1 version and the GameCube version, and you can't access either. So I would have to wait for them to like someone to remake it. Drew for 3 says, it would be cool if Tekken makes it out this year in time for the Game Awards, and the big 3 games could compete for Fighting Game of the Year. Absolutely. You know what? Tekken might be one I could do an event for. You want to know why? Because I think you can play the classic Tekkens, right? If you get PlayStation Premium, didn't it have at least 1, if not 2, classic Tekken games on there? And I could do hardest difficulty runs in the old-ass Tekkens. I think they were on there. Can't remember, but I'm pretty sure they were. Tekken 1, 2, and 3 are great games. They're just very outdated now, but they're still great games. Dex says, maybe a Dark Souls event for Elden Ring DLC, revisiting Bloodborne or something? Maybe, but at the same time... See, here's the thing. I'm hearing a lot of noise outside. Hold on. My wife should not be coming home right now. I don't know if my wife is coming home early from work. Hold on. Oh, my wife is not feeling well and is coming home early, and she just arrived home. That sucks. I had no idea. That really sucks. All right, hold on. I want to go see if she's just coming in. I want to make sure she's okay, guys. Give me a sec. I'll be right back. All right, everything's all right. You know, my wife's home. She's just not feeling good. I guess she said bad allergies. Her allergies were so bad that she didn't get very sound sleep last night. She's been having way worse allergies than me this year, which is weird. Typically, I have bad allergies every spring. And for some odd reason, I haven't really had bad allergies this year. Now, maybe it's because we actually got the filters into our furnace system early. I bought them like a month ago. And so they've been cleaning all the air in our house out constantly. So maybe that's what it is. But yeah, she has been having bad allergies, sneezing and coughing and, burning, runny eyes and everything. And I've been all right pretty much this year. So I lucked out, I guess. We have allergy meds and everything, but I guess she really did not feel very good at all. Like, having no sleep or whatever. So that's what happened. I know it shocked me. So I guess Jasper will not be in here. Jasper's out now, out and about in the house with her. So he will not be in here for the rest of the stream. Okay, guys? Okay. All right. So I have no idea what we were talking about. I'm disheveled. I'm confused. What were we speaking of? I don't even remember. Does anyone remember? Well, anyway, if anyone wants to talk to me, I guess. All right. What would you like to talk about? I was going to explain something about Bloodborne. I was. Anyway. I don't remember what I was going to explain about Bloodborne. Let's hit the reset button. Let's see what you guys want to talk about. Abdullah says tomorrow Callisto Protocol will get a paid DLC called Riot Mode, which is a Horde of Mercenaries mode. Oh. Is anyone going to get that? It certainly doesn't seem very interesting to me. If it was a story-based expansion, maybe, but I don't care about a Horde mode, right? No, I have not heard any Persona 6 rumors. Why don't I play Dead Island 2? Because it just didn't seem very interesting. Dead Island 2 seems to me like the kind of game that you play with friends. It's co-op, zombie survival, a lot of combat. It's a kind of a time waster game. I don't really need those for my streams. I don't think it would even really work that well for my kind of streaming. It doesn't fit into my content, so that's why I'm not interested. Oh, really? Abdullah says they're probably doing a story-based DLC for Callisto in June. Okay, fair enough. New Amnesia game says it got delayed. The new Amnesia game is now coming out the first week of June along the same time as Street Fighter 6 and Diablo 4, which is really bad for it. Now, here's the thing. I'd be interested in it. I'd be interested in playing this Amnesia game, but we're going to have to find a way to get it to fit into my schedule in June, which seems like it's going to be incredibly busy with all the high-profile new releases, and it's going to be the afterthought. Everyone's going to want to see the other stuff, I feel. So, we'll see what happens, okay? How's the weather? Cooler. It's cooler weather. We had a whole week of insane heat, which is why the pollen exploded out here. Everything got so hot, 80s and 90s, that all the plants went into massive bloom at once and just, boom, hit you with pollen. Which is why allergies are so bad out here right now. But now, the last 2 days, it's cooled down more and more. Yesterday, it was in the 70s. Today, I think it's only in the 60s. So it's actually very cool today. Right now, I don't even have my air conditioning on, which is great. I mean, I might still have to turn it on after a little bit here, but, we'll see. Okay. All right. Hold on 1 second. And whoop. Okay. Giant Emily Crab says, with my birthday coming up in August, can you play God of War again? Maybe. Summer downtime is always just that. It's an opportunity to play stuff that normally I wouldn't be playing because there's a lot of open time in the schedule. There's typically not a lot of new releases in the summertime. And that's when we actually take up these kind of chill retro playthroughs and stuff. So we'll see what happens this summer. I did play Left 4 Dead 2. I loved Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. I thought they were amazing games. Matt91 says Outlast Trials is supposed to be pretty good. It came out a few days ago. It did not, right? Isn't it only for people who bought, like, the early access, but it's not the final game or something like that, I want to say? Like, isn't it like you pay now, but you get the early alpha build, and then they're going to fix it or improve it later or something like that? JDTV right now, since I don't know how guilds are going to work in Street Fighter 6, I'm not making any plans for one as of yet. I'm not saying that once the game comes out that I'm not interested in it. It would be cool to maybe have a DSPGaming guild where people can join and be a part and play against each other or whatever. But I don't know anything about it, and certainly I don't want to promote something that I don't understand the ins and outs of yet. I don't know what kind of responsibilities there'd be, how you could, moderate it to make sure people aren't being toxic and disgusting to each other. So I don't want to touch it yet, but once it comes out, I'd consider it as long as we could find a way to make it work. Okay? Have I heard of the PlayStation Showcase leaks? Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake is supposed to be shown. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, let's just see what happens on Wednesday. These leaks are kind of silly. It's Wednesday. I won't be here. So I'll have to get caught up on my day off, and I'll talk about it on the podcast Thursday morning. If there is a Metal Gear Remake, I'd be very excited for that. At the same time, though, there's two things that have to be asked. Number one, why would they make Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake first? Why not go in order? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, why are they starting with 3? That's a little weird. But in addition to that, if they remake it, isn't it a little weird because Kojima won't benefit from it at all? He's not part of Konami anymore. So he'll make not a dollar off of it. And I kind of feel like that's messed up. He's the one who was the originator, the creator. You would think that he should get something positive out of it if it's resold as a new game. And he wouldn't. And that's kind of messed up in my opinion. Jinx, it's going well. Thank you so much, Jinx, for all that support yesterday. Really. I mean, insane over-the-top levels of support yesterday, and you were a ginormous, ginormous part of that. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for all that yesterday, man. It's good to see you. Snow Carl says, 1 year anniversary of my reformation. Well, there you go, Snow Carl. Thank you for a year of support here on the channel. How do I feel about Kojima? I respect Hideo Kojima immensely. This guy has these big, lofty ideas of what he wants to do with games. Doesn't always execute into the best game. Let's be honest, all right? For example, Death Stranding. Insanely good graphics. Great voice acting / mocap, right? Insanely great plot. Like, seriously, one of the most interesting game plots I've ever experienced in my life, but the gameplay is boring. It's like it hit it on all cylinders, and then you actually have to deliver the package or whatever. You're like, oh, this is just boring, So it's kind of like good on almost all levels. But then again, he originated the whole almost like modern stealth genre of games with the Metal Gear Solid series, right? He really is the father of that style of game that then translated into many other franchises. So that's definitely to be respected. I really wish he would make a horror game. I seriously wish he would, because that PT looked so amazing. If he made a horror game, it would be crazy good. I want him to make a horror game. I'm like, where is his horror game? Death Stranding was not that. You know what I mean? It was a great game, but it wasn't. I want that horror game that we were promised. I hope eventually he makes it. Okay? But I respect him immensely. Some people get the wrong idea because over 10 years ago when I was my old self, and I used to basically shit talk everything on the internet for views, I basically completely ragged on Hideo Kojima in my original playthroughs of the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. And a lot of people took that seriously. Like, oh, he really hates Kojima and he's shitting on him and it's disrespectful. And I was like, you guys understand it's a joke, right? Like, it wasn't serious. But a lot of people didn't. And that's where the origination of this is how you don't play movement actually came from. People who didn't understand my jokes, in the early YouTube days. So... But I love his stuff. I would absolutely love to play all his new games or whatever. Like, I think he's a great game developer. So. You also want to know what? If he ever made a movie, I would absolutely watch the movie. Because I honestly think he would be a great movie or TV series maker as well. I seriously 100% believe he would be really good as, like, the director and writer of a series. I would love that. All right. I received a $10 tip from Tarantula MS. He says, hey, Phil, how you doing? What's up, Tarantula? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a little bit. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to the stream, and thank you so much. First animation of the day. Thank you, Tarantula. All right, guys, I think it's time to wrap up the show for a couple of reasons. Number one, because yesterday the show went incredibly long, and I don't want that to happen today because I actually want to get to gameplay. And number two, because I have to use the bathroom. So I think it's time to wrap up the show. I want to say thank you for a great recuperation podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. And thanks for watching. You know, it is the spring. Be careful because with these allergies, everyone's being affected, including my own family. And I hope you stay safe and be well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.